Okay, so now we're going to finish project 5 by constructing some pivot tables. And the only reason for even having this video is so that I can show you exactly what I want on these pivot tables. They're kind of hard to define, kind of hard to understand unless I'm pretty specific about them, so I'm letting you know. So here is the first one. It says construct a pivot table, and I've already done the alpha, sharp, and trainer ratios, by the way, but you need to figure out how to do those. That's in the slides, and I'm about to do a video of my lecture, pre-project lecture, so you should be able to get it from that. And it's all your data is there, so you just need to do it. Okay, so we're going to construct a pivot table that allows us to average returns, alphas, sharps, and trainers for each fund type for the entire time period and select years. So, and your fund types should be clickable to expand to individual funds. So what that means is I'm going to go Insert, and then here on this one it says Tables. This isn't written out because it's small, but it may just look like this. So it's going to say Pivot Table. Okay, and I've got my data, I've got my cursor in the data that I'm looking at when I start, so usually it'll select the correct table or range. I want to put it on a new workbook. I always do my pivot tables on a new workbook just because they look kind of funny. Notice that when you click out of the pivot table, this menu over here goes away. When you click back in, if the menu goes away, just click back in. And what I want is the date, but I think I'm going to use oh, actually, I have to use this one. Okay, so I'm going to use date, and it's got years and quarters here. I really don't want that, so I'm just going to I'm going to remove that field and just go with years. So it separated that out for me, and I want that to be my filter so that I can tell it I want all years, I want some years. Okay, so that's what I mean by selectable, select years. And then I'm going to have ticker, I'm going to have fund type, and I'm going to have percent return, alpha, sharp, and trainer ratios. Now notice this has some of return, some of alpha, some of sharp, and some of trainer. I want them to be averages, not sums. So I'm going to click down here and I'm going to click on value field settings, and I'm going to click on average for each of them. Okay, so now I have average of return, average of alpha, average of sharp, and average of trainer. But it doesn't look quite like this. So notice that my chart over here has the balanced funds, which these are different funds than what we did in this project, but it's got balanced funds and growth funds, small cap funds, and value funds. And then underneath balanced funds, we'll have the list of funds that are in the balanced fund group. But this has instead the ticker and then the type of fund. So to fix that, I'm going to take the ticker and put it below the type. I'm just going to drag it, and now I've got bond, growth, international, sector, and value, and it's clickable to expand the different funds. Okay. Also, I can select the years that I want to look at. So if I want to just look at 1996, I can just look at 1996, and so forth. So that's that one. Then I've got a few questions about that. Then you're going to construct a pivot table that allows you to view all yearly returns in columns for each fund and a selected fund type. So it's essentially the same thing that we just did, except it's by year and it's only the returns. So I'm going to click in here and I'm going to do Insert, Tables, Pivot Table. And again, I want date. And here it's separated this out for me. I know it's kind of weird, but now it's got quarters and years. Partly because some of the data has that. And then I want fund. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't want fund name. I want ticker. I want percentage return, and I want fund type. So the percentage return is what I'm going to average. So again, I do average. And then I put my years up here in where it says columns. And then I take the ticker and I put it underneath the type, like I did before. Okay, so I'm missing 1996 data for all my sector funds, like I discussed before. I kind of messed that up, but I will fix it for the example assignment that I give you later. Okay, and then construct a pivot table. Number 14, construct a pivot table that allows you to view the minimum and maximum return for each fund type each year. So now all I'm doing is fiddling around with doing these pivot tables, and I need to do insert. And the reason for that is you need to use pivot tables fairly fluidly, because they are used a lot in practice. So I'm giving you how to do this one. Not fun name, I keep doing that. Ticker and return and fund type. Actually, I don't need ticker, I just need type. And then the return is going to be in two places. So I'm going to have this be the max of return, and then to get it there again, I'm going to drag it down. It's already checked, so you can't do that, but then I'm going to do min like this. And I want it by year, so I've already got it by year. It goes years, then type, and then max and min. And the last one I've asked you to do is a pivot chart, and I'm going to let you figure that out. It does basically the same thing as a pivot table, but instead of inserting a pivot table, you're going to insert a pivot chart, and that is right here. Okay, so I'm going to let you figure that out yourself. I think with all this exercise, you can. So that's Project 5, and I'm going to record a little lecture video in a few minutes here, so that'll be posted shortly.